Boys and girls, that behind me is EGX at the XL, the biggest gaming event in the UK. Let's go and have a little look around, shall we? So we've actually snuck in through the back entrance, so we're doing this all in reverse. So at the far end, if you're a normal coming in, because, you know, I'm coming in the fancy way, but the far end is the esports area. So we've got a little esports arena, a little esports gaming area, and then we've got the PC LAN zone, which just has a load of games from the distant past on for you to play. I don't know how many people are coming here to play TF2 or Hitman 3. I say that, it's full in there. And then you've got this little retro zone here, which seems smaller than the usual retro zone, but you've got a few old arcade machines. And then over here, you've got loads of old consoles. The retro zone is usually pretty good value to kill some time if you find yourself with not a lot else to do here, because it is a proper trip down memory lane. You name it, it's in there. And it always makes me sad, I say it every time, but seeing the Xbox 360 in the retro zone is terrifying to me. But there's some pretty cool stuff knocking about the place. So here's a little bit of a look at the map to see what's actually here. My initial impression looking at that is, goodness me, where is the rest of it? There doesn't seem to be a huge amount here, and very little of it is actual gaming stuff. We've got Nintendo, so we're going to check Nintendo out. It looks like Forza is here, which is already out. That's the retro zone, so we're down that end at the moment. And then you've got Dicebreaker is board games, I think. There's a few people selling PCs, Cyberpower, HyperX, Specsavers are here, so that's good. We've got TikTok, Sega, and I think Persona 3 Reloaded is there, so that's actually something I'll queue up and play. I am pretty excited about that. And then you've got all the indie stuff, the Res Zone, the Left Field Collection. So actual big publishers with big games. I think the only ones here, the new Sonic game is here, which is out imminently. Persona 3 Reloaded, I think it's called, the updated version of Persona 3 is here. That's not actually out until next year. Persona 5 Tactics is here, and I think that's out very soon. And Super Mario Wonder is here, which is out in less than a week. So there's not a huge amount of stuff to play that's new. It'll be fine. Another area that's usually a lot of fun, especially if you're here with a group, the tabletop zone. There's loads of board games in there that you can go in and play. There's also spots around the place where you can buy them as well if you play them and you really enjoy them. But we've whiled away hours in the board game areas before. It's always good fun. And then opposite that, we've got one of the stages. That's the community stage over there. I'm not actually doing any kind of panel here this time, so don't need to worry too much about the stages. And then this is a live action Dungeons and Dragons thing, which does seem pretty cool. There's a whole area here where you set yourself up in costume and then go in there and play real life D&D, which does seem awesome. I don't know if I'm quite enough of a nerd to be able to do it. We'll see how the day pans out. Fitting as well, opposite the D&D dress-up area is the cosplay area for more dressing up shenanigans. And then off the back of this, you've got the retail area. So all the usual stuff that you'd expect to see at conventions, swords, pop vinyls, tails, and things that flash. We'll have a proper look at that in a minute. I want to go and find some games first though. We'll loop back round to the retail area towards the end. There's an Argos phone box here, which unfortunately doesn't have an Argos catalogue in, just has a laptop where you can order things from Argos. Then you've got Specsavers here, which is baffling. I don't even know what they're up to. And behind them, we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which doesn't actually have a queue at the moment, but also worth bearing in mind, it's currently on open beta. So you can play that at home. You don't need to spend £80 on a weekend ticket to come to EGX to try that. Five Nights at Freddy's are doing something. Not quite sure what they're doing. I've never actually played that. I know it's kind of a big deal. Oh, there's a movie in cinemas October 25th. And then something else to do with them as well. I think more retail stuff behind them. And then we've got the Cyberpower bus, which is at every event I ever go to, and it's just full of cool gear. Cyberpower, if you ever want me to go in there and show it off in a video, time to sort your old pal Kev out with a sponsorship. And they've got some bits and bobs in there as well. More of the retail zone. And then chairs from Playseat. And this is the massive TikTok lounge. It's probably the biggest stand in here. I am officially here, full disclosure, officially here as a guest of TikTok. That being said, I've not actually been in their lounge. I'm not sure what's in there. Looks like they've got some VR stuff. There's some little spots in there where you can stream from. Meet and greet bits. This is quite cool over here. This is a giant Pokeball that you can have your photo taken inside. I did look at doing it, but they want you to take your shoes off. And when I was in here a couple of days, I was wearing a big pair of lace-up Converse high tops and didn't want to have to take them off. We are wearing shoes that can slip off today though, so you might see me in a Pokeball as the day goes on. And then somewhere behind here, it just caught the corner of my eye a minute ago, I saw the sign for Super Mario Wonder. I don't know if that's behind TikTok or if they're playing it in the TikTok section. And Nintendo have got a section over there, so I think you can play Mario in there as well potentially, which is always worth knowing. Boohoo Man are here, and there's the EGX merch stand as well. The back end of the retail zone. Power Wash Simulator Back to the Future edition, if you like that kind of thing, and Total War Pharaoh. And then we get into what EGX traditionally used to be. I know I always sound like an old man when I get on this rant, but if we go back 10 years, 8 years, 5 years even, back when this was over at Earl's Court, when it was up at the NEC, the whole of EGX would be publishers and games companies with stands like these. You wouldn't be able to move for them. You could spend days in there just going from one to the next. Unfortunately, it's not quite like that anymore, and we've only got the two. So we've got Nintendo and Sega. It's like the good old days. They're opposite each other. So Nintendo have their little area where they are showing off Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I am excited about. It's a game I want to play. However, I've already pre-ordered it and it's out on Friday. It's Sunday as I'm recording this. I don't need to queue up for it. If I catch an opportunity to go over there and there's no queue, then I will go and check that out. And what I'm more interested in queuing for is on the Sega stand. You can see they've got Persona 5 Tactica and Persona 3 Reloaded, but you can see that is the biggest queue in here at the moment for Persona 3. So as much as I would like to give that a try, it is just a remake of a 20-year-old game. I'm probably not going to queue for that either. And then at the back of the Sega stand, you've got Sonic Superstars, which is out in 2 days. It's the 15th of October as I record this. That's out on the 17th. So again, I can play it at home in 2 days. So I'm probably not going to queue for that either. Although, to be fair, that is a game I'm more on the shelf about. So, on the fence about. So that might convince me to buy it. But Football Manager 2024 is out any day now, so I'm probably not going to buy that when I already know I'm going to be getting this. And to be fair to Nintendo, they have got a lot of spots there to play it on. It's not a big mixture of lots of different games. That is just a big pile of Switches, all with Super Mario Wonder on, which is good to see. There's your little sneak peek into what's going on in Persona and the biggest queue that's in here. And then we come off the back of this. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, in fact, there is that a Yakuza game around the back there as well? I think there is another Sega game. What is this? Like a Dragon. That's the Yakuza spin-off, isn't it? So that's not out until January. That's not really my kind of game. I know Anna and Pab enjoy that though, so they might get on that. That might be something worth queuing for. They can maybe queue for that while I'm queuing for this, because Persona 3 Reload, not out until February. Bizarrely, contrast the Nintendo stand that's got loads of spots to play the game. Persona has got 5 spots on this side, maybe 5 on the other. That's why the queue's so long. What have we got around here? This is the custom controller area. The left field collection's always worth having a little look at. That's where you have the indiest of all indie games in there, so we'll go and have a look in there. And then the rest of the convention is the Resd area. The Resd area is all of the indie games. So again, it's somewhere where if you are into cool little indie games and checking stuff out that you perhaps weren't aware of before you came, you can just wander around this, go from stand to stand, and check out all these little indie games. This is definitely more what EGX is about these days. You certainly can't come here and spend a weekend playing the AAA stuff anymore because there's hardly any here, but you could spend a day doing this. It goes all the way down on that side and it's all the way on this side as well. But we are gonna go and have a look in this left field area because there's always stuff in here that's a little bit bonkers. Weird controllers, weird games. I mean, when was the last time you saw a dot matrix printer? And just generally cool little stuff. I mean, look at that. That is a controller made out of a book on an old TV. There we've got a game that lives in a suitcase. It's cool.
Jump up here.
And certainly back when I was still in my former life as a computer science teacher, coming around here and just chatting to the developers about how these things have been made, because these are usually like passion project, 1 or 2 person teams making these. These are not big games that are being properly published. And it's quite cool to hang out in that area. So I'll probably come back and have a proper rummage in there. And then you come out the back of that and you see the other side of the Resd zone. So more of the indie stuff. Trash Goblin sounds like my kind of game. And we've got another stage there. So there's no really big stages here, which is surprising. We saw the little community stage before, and then you've got the little Resd session stage, which is quite the contrast to Insomnia, Comic-Con, where they have those massive stages and big things going on. There's nothing like that here. There's just 2 small stages. I feel less upset about being snubbed for a panel this year, because they've got hardly any way to do stuff like that. There's no way to fit me in. I'll allow it. We'll just point the camera at a few more of these games. Don't want to miss out giving any of these indie games their opportunity to be seen by literally dozens of people on this video. So that's the way you come in on a normal ticket. The big queuing section in there, which I've been here all weekend. It's Sunday as I record this. I've not seen that queuing system be used at any point, but it's there if it's needed. And then we've got more and more bits and bobs here if we just loop around this side. And we've got one more little stage here. This is the EGX Academy. And this bit's always quite cool. Little careers fair kind of thing, where you have different universities showing off their game design courses. Occasionally you have little bits of recruitment in here. To be honest, this area is much smaller than it has been in the past. There's like 4 universities in there and that's it. Football Manager have had a section in there previously, but not this year. And then you've got a few more of these indie games here, and that is it. That's your full loop. That's not me just doing one haul and then going to show you the rest. I've not missed any of that out. That is it. We're going to go and have a little look through the retail area, but even that doesn't look very big. I am shocked at how little there is here. Like I say, £80 for a 4-day pass for a start. Unless you're here as part of your job, there's no way you need to be here for 4 days. You can do this in 1 day comfortably. So if you are considering coming next year, I would certainly recommend against getting the 4-day pass because it's very expensive and I don't think very good value at all. For 1 day though, if you're into indie games, or if there's a game from one of the big publishers that you want to come and play and you're willing to queue for to get access to a little bit early, definitely still worth it from that point of view. I'm a little bit disappointed though. I'm gonna go and cheer myself up with some retail therapy. I'll meet you over there. So made it over into the retail area. Let's have a look to see what's going on in here then. This is always good fun. So we have a selection of hats. Do like a hat. And then of course your compulsory massive selection of pop vinyls. We do like a pop vinyl as well, so there's plenty of that kind of stuff here. Pokemon bits and bobs, Pokemon cards. We've got individual Pokemon, so as ever, if we see a Girafarig, we're always hunting for a Girafarig in the wild. Doesn't look like they've got any though, but that is one of the biggest selections of Pokemon plushies that I've seen in a while. This thing is here. There's a couple of these little heat things, I guess, for people who have their poorly gamer wrists. Another section absolutely chock full of pop vinyls. We've got board games over this side, board games over that side. So if you go into the board game section and you see something and you want to play it, chances are there's somewhere here where you can buy it. Plenty of Pokemon cards again, some cool art bits, and enormous mouse mats with some cool art on, so that's good. And then we'll loop back round to the next bit. We're already nearly halfway through, by the way. Even this is much smaller than what you would get at something like Insomnia or Comic-Con. We've got dice there. These little Pokemon things are cool, but they're the kind of thing that you see at every event. They are cool. I do like them. One day I'll get one. We've got more dice, more art. These giant Pokemon cards that I've seen at a few different events now recently. Another art area. Some little stickers and badges and things on that one. And then the big section of plushies, alpacas and the like. That again is at every convention. There's nothing I've seen in this retail area yet that I didn't already see at Insomnia and that I won't be seeing in a week or two at London Comic Con and then again at Birmingham Comic Con. We've got more Pokemon cards, more Pokemon plushies and cards. I mean, that's just a big advert for the London Card Expo. Some jewellery, game controller, cover things and thumb grips. And then I think we come round to the final aisle, somewhere to buy a cowboy hat or a sword. So we've already seen this from the other side, I think, because the cosplay area is just there. We've made it back round to where the community area is. And then you've got these light up t-shirts and masks that were at Goose Fair, amongst other places. Some more art. And keyboards, and then more of these little hand warmer things. And that's it for your retail area as well. I have done my full lap of the entire event, including up and down every aisle in the retail area, in 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. I filmed almost all of it. As someone who's been coming to EGX for 12 years now, I'm really disappointed. I don't know, this might be my last one. They're going to have to make some big announcements next year to justify coming back down. And bearing in mind, they let me in for free, you know? I'm not having to buy a ticket for this, and I'm still disappointed because I've still had to pay to travel down here, pay for my hotel, that kind of stuff. So it's not a cheap weekend, and I just don't know that I'm getting value on the money that is spent on it. When there's events like Insomnia, like Comic-Con, TwitchCon, travel is weirdly priced now. We could go to Gamescom for a similar kind of price that we paid to come here. I don't know. Oh, here's Forza. There you go. We've found a game that is literally available for free right now if you've got Game Pass. I am sadness. This used to be my favourite weekend of the year. And it's just not like it used to be. If you have enjoyed the video though, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on it for me. Subscribe to the channel for a much better convention in a couple of weeks when we go to Comic-Con, and also all of the other shenanigans, travel stuff as well. And thank you very much for watching.